actually went mad. Defended.
I think it's like
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Bit of humour to start the week. People deluded. I'm back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope you're doing well and safe. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. Now, obviously, as much as I'm laughing, in the graphic behind me, nothing is funny, people. Obviously, it's another day, another game where, while we haven't done well enough over 90 minutes, you could argue we have, because we've scored a goal ahead of Brentford, and their goal was offside. And when you hear the incompetencies of the referees to not listen to the practices that they've been taught to even draw the lines, it is frustrating. And like I said, on one hand, for me, I've given up with referees. Would I like an ideal world, people, where, don't forget, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Don't forget, Monday to Thursday, Premier League, Europa League, Champions League watch-alongs, people, starting with Liverpool, Everton. Tuesday, we've got PSG, Bayern Munich. Wednesday, it's Arsenal, City. Thursday, Barcelona, Man United, and so on and so forth, people. But back to this. While I think, in an ideal world, right is right, wrong is wrong, you would love for teams to have fair decisions, the right decisions. And I do give a bit of, human error happens. It does happen. I can deal with that. I can live with that. Unfortunately for me, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. I don't think the referees or the Premier League ever want integrity. They ever want consistency. They ever want the right decisions. We all know the Premier League is the biggest league. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of talking points. Just like us, we're sat. Some of you are listening. Some of you are commenting. Don't feel any sort of way about commenting. I'm making a video on it. They want us to keep waffling about these talking points. Palace, there was something in the Palace-Brighton game, obviously Arsenal. And the thing that jars me the most, people, is these same things, are going to happen in another game, and the right or wrong decision is going to happen. So they just want talking points. They just want us waffling about it. I'm not going to lie. VAR has done us dirty in typically the games where probably across 90 minutes we haven't done well enough. Man United away, Martinelli's goal, they've come out and said, sorry, like that's points on the board, where obviously we're fighting with City going neck and neck for the title, allegedly. I don't check the league table, but, Southampton, we never got a penalty with Gabriel Jesus, where we dropped points from winning positions after taking the lead. Man United, we weren't good enough at Old Trafford, but we should have had a goal that stood. You could argue goals changed the course of the game. Maybe that could have happened. Newcastle, Dan Burns holding our shirts. We could have got a penalty in that. And obviously the latest being Brentford at home, people, where Brentford could argue some decisions went left. For me, it's not that I accept it. It's, can we control the variables that we can control? Again, across 90 minutes, keeping balls out the back of our net, which we've played offside expertly, or scoring more goals, where, if we're honest, across these games, we probably didn't do enough. And I think that's the only luxuries we can kind of make peace with, because we're never making peace with the ref, people. The refs are never going to have the decisions. And I'm not one to do this agenda thing, but it does feel like there's one rule for one and another rule for others. And the Premier League is quite scripted. And it probably means that the blue team is going to lift the trophy versus mine. But hopefully it gives us that extra impetus. With that being said, people, please let me know your opinions. Subscribe, comment, do all of those things, people. Again, appreciative of you lot tuned in. Hope you and your loved ones are in good health. But if I share my screen with you lot, as you lot can see here, it's been confirmed. Video assistant referee John Brooks has been stood down from tonight's Merseyside derby and Wednesday's clash between Arsenal and Manchester City. Brooks will be replaced on VAR duty by David Coote for the match at the Emirates Stadium on Wednesday. And obviously Lee Mason will be in the job. Any other job, any walk of life, you either get sacked or you get put on training. Lee Mason has done this against Arsenal several times, as you lot know. And for me, it's the thing of, he's not drawing the line. So what has got his attention to not be distracted? Because it's not just one man in VAR. Where is the assistance? Obviously there's steps and protocols to follow that these lot are trained to do. Why didn't he do that? And why isn't there discipline? Because again, the dust will settle if Arsenal go and beat City next week and beat Villa, and it looks a bit more rosier. And there's other talking points, Bentancur's out for the rest of the season and all these other footballing talks. This will be forgotten until these referees do it again. In what industry? If I make a video that you lot disagree with and you think it's shit or whatever, pardon my French, you're going to get on to me. If a player plays poor, he might get dropped. If a manager has poor results, he might get sacked. If you're in McDonald's and you show an inability to get orders right, you're going to lose your job. Why is it in referees? This seems to be the only industry probably even more protected than journalists. This is the only industry that you're rewarded with even bigger games. The very fact that they've had to stand this done down and on paper he was going to go and do it is ridiculous. So Howard Webb can come out, and like I said, I'm all on, let's look at what Arteta and the players could have done to get 3 points. But the referees is jarring people, because it's going to happen again. You know, they're going to get cooling off period and they'll be back doing the same things again and again. But I think it, you know, with the amount of money in the game, this is not a coincidence, people. It's as simple as that. There's no chances, there's no such thing as a coincidence. It is what it is. The very fact that he even got the role before being stood down. So you lot can come out, Howard Webb, and via the PGMOL and say sorry and all these things. We can't go and get the 2 extra points. Obviously, when you do the maths, we've probably dropped about 10 to 12 points. While we've done great, what could it have said where Arsenal's concerned? But as I said, control the variables you can control, because there's even been games we've won where we've probably conceded where we've not needed to. John Brooks, once again, has been dropped from the Arsenal City VAR after his Brighton blunder. But then Lee Mason, you know, Arsene Wenger's been getting at him as well, people. Lee Mason will be back. So you can have your meetings, you can issue your apologies, you can do all of these sort of things, but it's of little to no help, people. And I mean, again, first time round, I'm not going to sit here and say I thought Zinchenko's playing him onside, but that's why these lot get to see it again and again and again and again. Nordgaard is offside. You could argue Arsenal, while we've conceded from 3-headed goals now, really, and it's been terrible now, considering our set piece stuff, you could argue we held our defense expertly. We've played people offside, but offsides have to work if, you know, the linesmen and stuff are going to show integrity. Clearly, it wasn't a thing there, really. So it is what it is, but we can't look back in the past. We have to move forward. Granite Xhaka has said Arsenal ignoring Manchester City as title race tensions rise, people. With that being said, apparently Xhaka has urged Arsenal to focus on themselves as they prepare for a big clash. Exactly. Play the game, not the occasion. Against Man City, I want to see a fearless approach, because we've been getting battered against them 9 times out of 10, even though this fixture a year ago was better. You know, people expect you to lose. There's almost a bit of a wounded animal. There's almost everyone's expecting the crumbling to happen. We've dropped, you know, we've not taken maximum points in our last 2 Premier League games. If you add in the FA Cup game against City, we've got 3 L's. Now it's time to restart, get back to basics, earn the right to play and whatnot. And our fans are going to be alive and kicking. Hopefully we put in a good performance. Granite has said, if we are honest, we are not speaking about them. We are looking at ourselves game by game. We didn't win on Saturday. We took 1 point, and Wednesday is big for them, for us. So let's see. Amen. He then went on to say, we are disappointed because of what we hear is that the blocker was offside where we have our player. This is in relation to the Brentford game. I don't know why they changed the rules weekend by weekend. Don't know either. Ask Ruben Neves as well. He was pretty cunning in his post-game comments about referees and VAR with Wolves. But it's the referee's decision not to give the offside. Our decision to mark the players, the runners. We didn't do it, and you can see the goal like this. Again, it is what it is. We are disappointed, of course. We knew how Brentford would play. It was hard to break them, but we did. And after that, we have to be much more smarter to take the 1-0 and to take the 3 points. Again, exactly. We could have won our battles a bit more. We could have been better defensively. We could have showed more effectiveness and efficiency in the final third. Obviously, you know, it was the last half an hour of games. It has kind of been going left for Arsenal of recent, and just generally when we've conceded goals, we've scored great from Trossard off the bench around the 60th minute mark. We've conceded within the last 15, 16 minutes. I think they scored in the 74th, 75th minute. Last 15 minutes of football matches, you need to get that done. So what we can look at is maybe Ramsdale coming out, maybe Saliba not doing well enough for that set piece, maybe giving the set piece away, maybe being a bit more, you know, of the standards we've had prior to the season and scoring more goals. They're the only things we can control, because we'll turn ourselves crazy if we try and rationalize VAR. So let's deal with what we can deal with. And that goes even at Sunday league level. So he's right. We do have to be a bit street smarter. We are an improved defensive side, and I don't necessarily think we're a good defensive side by the standard and the potential I believe we could go to. So he's right. We are going to be disappointed, people. We drop points from winning positions again, just like Southampton away. I think it's not only them that are coming here, or even if we play away, some teams drop deep and are hoping for set pieces or second balls or something else. We know that, and that's what we're going to have to deal with. We are training for that as well, but it's not always easy. They did a good job without the ball today, but if you break them like we did with 1-0, you have to take 3 points. true facts from Granit Xhaka. Moving away from that, apparently Arteta on Balogun has said, I'm so happy for him. He's a boy that has a really clear idea of what he wants to do with his career. He's really ambitious, really committed, and our decision process was long as he had many proposals last summer. Got interest from AC Milan, Marseille, Villarreal. Edu apparently has contacted an agent, people. Edu contacts agent to relay Arsenal's interest. Gunners most committed to signing player. This is in relation to Vitor Roque, the 17-year-old who's turning 18 in a few weeks. Played at the South American Under-20s Championship. Done quite well at club level. I've done a video on him before. I don't know his potential. I just know if we're finding players for the future, that is someone we need to try and pip Barcelona, who are allegedly the front runners to sign him to his signature. 3 days ago, Goal stated that Arsenal have become the latest club to join the race for Vitor Roque, and Edu Gaspar has initiated contact with the Stars entourage to know about his situation. Barcelona are also in the picture to sign the forward, who has managed 6 goals and an assist for Brazil at the Under-20 South American Championship. Sport have reported on the 17-year-old Arsenal titled Arsenal bid for Vitor Roque. Within the report, it stated that the Gunners are the strong competitor of the La Liga side to sign the teenager. Mikel Arteta's side are the most committed to secure his services. It's further said Edu has contacted Rogue's agents to show Arsenal's willingness to sign his client. Arsenal are the first club in England to make a move for Rogue, and more Premier League sides are likely to soon knock on the door of both the player and his employer. He will turn 18 years of age this month, and that will make him eligible to move to England or Spain or wherever in the summer. Barcelona optimistic of signing him, people. Obviously, they've got Deco there in the Brazilian contingent as well. So we'll have to see. Once again, Barcelona leads for him, people. And not to go over the same thing, but Chelsea, Newcastle, PSG, Arsenal, a bunch of other clubs. Every club in Europe has probably ran the rule over him, and look at what he's doing, people. Apparently, like a lot of South American players, it could get techie, people, because, I thought we was out of this, but they're waiting for a more concrete conversation like Barcelona's to discuss numbers. Atletico owns 85% of the player's economic rights. The remainder of the 15% belongs to his agent, and he's entitled to 10% of a future sale. Apparently, they want his release clause, which is in the 50 millions, but then there's all this sort of paperwork and red tape to get over, people. But yeah, Chelsea, Newcastle, PSG have shown an interest. More recently, Edu Gaspar of Arsenal has approached the athlete staff in order to find out about his situation. So I guess that means his willingness to join Arsenal, conveying the project to him and what Arteta is doing, seeing where his head is at, and if he believes moving to Europe or England at the right time is what not, or seeing if another club's in front. So we'll have to see how that one develops, people. Once again, his name has been listed here. He is pure smell for Atletico Paranaense, who will not be able to retain him, and clubs like Barca or Arsenal are willing to do anything for him. Big praise. Gunners could move for Yuri Telemans very soon. Where have we heard this before? Scrolling all the way down, people. Ultimately, the player now has a big window of opportunity in terms of where he could land next. It's not impossible that Arsenal now make their move for him. Arsenal were always against paying the fee for him, knowing he could be available for free if they could get this far. So I have to see, people. He would likely demand a big signing on fee because he's 25 and a free agent, and an improvement on his 120k a week wages, people. But yeah, that would be cheaper than maybe moving for other players. Bring him, really, because I think, I'd say Everton, definitely Brentford. It's shown probably we need midfield options. Against Everton, it showed maybe why we need one or more tigerish number 6s. And also with Granit Xhaka having a bit of dip, probably why we need a number 8 that can do that silky stuff to allow our attacking players, Saka, Martinelli, to get in real situations 1v1. And I would say Odegaard in the final third. No coincidence. The first time we got Saka taking on Rico Henry, Benjamin White's overlapping. Odegaard is in and around the opponent's box. Trossard has eventually tapped in from across on that hand side. So great collective play from everyone. Probably the one positive on top of Trossard popping his cherry for Arsenal and getting his first goal, people. Moving away from that, people have doubled down on this Yuri Telemans stuff, people. And as you can see here, I think Arsenal are definitely willing to break their own transfer record to sign Declan Rice. Well, better yet, Declan Rice. So let's just say centre mid. But I'm not sure they're going to go above and beyond 100 million and break the British record. I mean, 100 million is where it should stop, really. You're hearing 75 to 100. I think West Ham will be hopeful that happens. They're hopeful they can get 110 million for Rice. So they want a bidding war, probably with Todd Burhees, man. I can understand why they would set their stall out of that level. I'm just not 100% sure that's realistic. It's probably not, man. They can forget about 100, 150, 100 million, take it or leave it, really. As good as Declan Rice is, his contract is expiring with an option of another. You move elsewhere and find someone of the same skill set for less. Chelsea are reportedly keen on a move for Declan Rice, with Arsenal currently leading the race. Anytime it says we're the favourites, we're confident, we're leading the race, until people are holding shirts, I's have been dotted and T's have been crossed, anything can happen, people. Declan Rice still tops the list as far as I've been told, but with Declan Rice, they're putting down the groundwork foundations. They're speaking to people close to him, letting him know they're there, and they're going to be making a move for him in the summer. So we'll have to see, people. Reece Nelson, who's out of contract, apparently West Ham are among many clubs interested in him, people. He's attracting interest from a number of clubs home and abroad. He has made 7 appearances for Arsenal this season. Only 3 of them have been starts, and he's had a terrible time with injuries. It did look like when he got his brace against Nottingham Forest, he was going to lay down a marker. Anytime Reece Nelson can speak, he says he would like to sign a new deal. It does feel like the beginning of the end for the 23-year-old, but I would give him a new deal, really, if nothing more to protect resale value. I feel like Arsenal is a club for me at this moment in time. I've been here for so long and I'm very comfortable here, he said in December. Of course, I want to play games. I want to play week in, week out. But I feel like at this moment in time, I'm at a place where I'm only going to get better. I'm an Arsenal fan, and of course, I want to sign a new contract at the club. I'm just going to be ready for anything I get now and give my all for the team. And I said, people, apparently West Ham and a couple of clubs are interested in signing Reece Nelson, who's currently in rehab away from an injury and not quite fit enough to make the squad. Apparently Zinchenko is setting up a charity match between Arsenal and Chelsea with the proceeds going to Ukraine. Zinchenko, I don't want to be bad mind, but make sure you play against Mudryk and you absolutely clamp him. Simple as that, people. Once again, we've been linked with Yuri Telemans. Dean Jones has said, ultimately, the player now has a big window of opportunity in terms of where he could land next. It's not impossible that Arsenal make their move for him. Arsenal are always against paying a fee for him, knowing that he could be available for free if they get thus far. So we've kind of seen that already. Ruben Neves, apparently Barcelona are not interested in him anymore. Ruben Neves will stop waiting for Barcelona. The sporting staff have doubts about him, and the club is not likely to pursue his signing. He has concrete interest from other clubs, especially in the Premier League. He's another one that probably could and should be on Arsenal's list. If we scroll here, people, allegedly Arsenal are not prepared to pay any more than 100 million for Declan Rice. Arsenal are looking to sign Manuel Locatelli in the summer. Arsenal are favourites for Milinkovic-Savic. You know, we're the favourites for Telemans, Savic, Mitoma, you know, Declan Rice, Caicedo, everything. We're yet to offer Reece Nelson an extension. We're to make a decision on Balogun at the end of the season, who has also been linked with AC Milan and scored yesterday, and now has taken his tally to 15 league goals. You know, he's had a great loan spell. He's of importance. His general play isn't quite there yet, but it's improving. He's got 15 league goals, 16 in all comps, scored his first career hat-trick. Keep developing and either become a player for Arsenal, or one that goes out on loan again, or one that makes this club at least 30, 20, 30, 40, 50 million. We've been linked with Edson Alvarez, and it's circled back. Apparently, we're one of a host of clubs looking at him. Chelsea tried, that didn't go anywhere. Arsenal faced competition from Newcastle for Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. We've spoken about Reece Nelson. We've spoken about Vitor Roque. We've looked at Balogun. A few days ago, we were linked with Moussa Diaby, allegedly because Leverkusen are struggling in the league and there won't be Champions League football. They might face a fight to hold on to him. Now, Xavi has hit out at claims that Ansu Fati could leave, but allegedly Arsenal and a number of clubs are keeping tabs and have inquired about the 20-year-old situation. And I would love Locatelli at the carpet, but it's a myth, people. You know, his brother came out and said that, you know, while Arsenal was a good proposal, he always had his heart set on Juventus. So that's that. People, again, appreciative of you lot being locked in. Appreciate all the support you lot give me. You know, please let me know your opinions on this Brentford VAR business, on any of the transfer news and talking points we've spoken on. Subscribe, smash the like button. Make sure you're here for all the watch-alongs from Monday to Thursday. You know, today it's a Merseyside derby, Liverpool versus Everton. Tomorrow it's obviously we're watching Paris Saint-Germain against Bayern Munich, even though AC Milan Spurs will be quite the watch, I believe. Wednesday it's Arsenal City watch-along business from 6:30. Manchester United, Barcelona on Thursday, so we'll be watching that. And then obviously on the weekend, whatever games there are to watch, you know, we'll be here. You know, we definitely know at this moment in time, Aston Villa against Arsenal, it'd be a dramatically better Aston Villa than the one that turned up at the Etihad and bent over and allowed Man City to just grab 3 points off them. On that note, though, people, stay blessed, stay safe. Hope you're all having a great week. Hope you and your loved ones are in good health and all those things, and appreciate your support. Let me know your thoughts. Until we meet again, folks.
You always just that.
Accurate, Bendy.
I think it's like